Alrighty, we're back. Let's get down to business here. Oh. I just realized my controller had powered off. And the emulator won't actually recognize the controller if it boots when the controller is off. So, I was wondering, like, why I'm pressing the start button, why is nothing happening? Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Alrighty. Picking things up here in chapter 6. And we are going to go meet the Pope. And we are... Alright, our current emblem is Griffin. So we're at like level 2 out of 4 of the good side of the ethics meter. And let me also fix this. There we go. I miss what did I miss after I passed out last night? Yeah, I was asleep for like 15 minutes there. We finished the map. Yeah, we got the good outcome on the map because we moved the whole force to the north side of the bridge without killing all of the enemies. And so yeah, I don't think we got I forget if we were already on Griffin or if we were still on Blade Eagle or what, but at the very least, yeah, we got the good outcome on that. So, and that was where we cut it off. And yeah, rather than having 15 minutes of dead air, I did actually edit that out of the VOD. The Pope's palace is inside that fancy tower on the island in the center of Lake Kuel. We still have a ways to go. You suppose any more enemies are dug in along the way? I don't know. It's certainly possible. Maybe we'll get lucky this time. Here we go again. Our best defense is to stumble down that causeway and pray for luck. Well, if you want, wait here until we're across, and we'll signal you when the coast is clear. In your dreams, old man. Alright. Let me just, resave. Just in case we have to, you know, reload so we can skip one cutscene. At least, being on Griffin now, our Uma Musume is no longer concerned that our alignment is a little too close to the lower end of the spectrum. Okay. Okay, ooh. The screen kind of flashed there for a second. I got a little worried. There goes Komei's lucky day up in smoke. Waves and waves of enemies up our asses. I'll bet the inside of the palace is loaded with Balformian troops as well. Nevertheless, our objective lies directly ahead, and our destiny says we'll soon meet the Pope. Liquidate all the enemies and rush the palace. Alright. And of course, poor Dan gets stuck at the back of the line instead of up at the front. Okay. Bunch of enemies. Some mages and Pegasi and stuff. These Ken troopers that we gotta be careful of. A couple of dork-ass stormtroopers. Okay. As long as we delete the Ken troopers quick enough, we shouldn't have too much to worry about. I mean, it sure seems like it. So yeah, we definitely do not want to be suffering any casualties. Now, I haven't seen the rescue mission itself move our ethics meter up or down a stage, but because we don't see the score under the hood, we don't know if our meter is actually going up or down. Yeah, I mean, since our only option on those is to massacre 3 level 1 enemies, it probably is not doing us any favors. Now, those, Alright, we're gonna need to be a little careful here. We've got these 2 guys up front. We're gonna have to probably delete one of these guys as our first action on round 2, then eat a hit from the other, and then clean it up from there. The Grand Pegasi I'm not so worried about. The mage is far enough away that he doesn't matter this turn. So yeah, we'll just delete this first guy. Oh, he actually didn't use his special. Weird. No, previously they've always used their special. You went outside today? Oh, did you have to mow some grass? Oh, I went to donate blood. Very good. Time to get the Beatus. Yeah, 24 donuts. Whoa. That's a lot. Oh man, I tell you, the Maple Donuts, the brand in the York Harrisburg area, which is awesome by the way, and just Moggs dunking it in every way. At their actual restaurant locations, you can get packs of day olds. Like a dozen day olds is like $3, and they're usually buy two get one free. So yeah, like 3 dozen donuts for $6. Uh, that is some hardcore Beatus right there. All right, what do we got? One stormtrooper. We got the Ken Trooper. Okay. Yeah, once this other Ken Trooper is out of the way, I think the biggest danger will be. Oh wait, there's a third one. Okay. Okay. Chris can handle this hit, no big deal. It's gonna do a lot of damage, but yeah, Chris can take it. All right. The Grand Pegasus up there will probably come down and hit Chris as the enemy's next action. Hmm. He's right there. Actually, you know what? We'll let Royce kill this one. Chilled. Actually, yeah, chilled donuts are pretty good. And called it. Ooh. All right. Is there anybody else in range of actually taking Chris out? No. None of the other enemies are close enough to be immediately threatening. All right, 32 damage. Jenny. Actually, you know what? We'll yeah. Actually, yeah, we'll finish off the other Pegasus. Mage is not advancing. Alright, keeping Chris alive. Remake 3 is... or do we just pull him back? If we pull him back, though, the Pegasus might just fly in and do the job. Alright, tell you what, we'll move Chris. Alright, this will put him out of range of anybody, and then we can, they'll probably hit, how many? Alright, he's got one. Alright, it's just the one Ken Trooper that's left, so he'll probably smack Ein for about 20 damage, which is fine. We can deal with that. And nobody else is... Yeah, or they might hit Brian, actually, because he's already injured. But we can deal with that. So we'll pull Chris back. A little bit of lag there. Yeah, okay, yeah, they hit Brian. No surprise. Yeah. So, yeah, alright, we got that. Alright. Unfortunately, this would be a great time for Dan to throw down an AoE, but he's just a couple spaces too far away. So from what I've been able to kind of reverse engineer from the AI, they definitely... So it seems like priority 1 is going, is dogpiling injured units, if possible. Number 2 is going, in, you know, like a priority list, down the units with, I want to say Ein is the highest priority target, being one of the 2 commander characters and the one that's less tanky. You know, Ein's pretty fragile, whereas Brian is pretty dang beefy. And then after these 2, the priority list gets a little janky, but I think that's the basic order of it. You know, yeah, kind of like the odd bit of how in Shining Force 1, Domingo is actually the highest priority target for the AI, and in fact, is the only character that's prioritized above Max. Alright, now we gotta be a little bit, careful here. You know what, you know what, I think she can, Now, let's see. The mage has not moved in yet. Brian can take the hits. I'm not too worried about him. And yeah, with the Pegasus having moved. So yeah, normally the enemies would be dogpiling Ein, but yeah, because Brian was already damaged, I guess they pretty much smell blood in the water and they just keep going for him instead. Which is fine, because he's got way more defense. He can handle the hits way better. Alright, we're going to have these Cyclopses coming down. Looks like they're going to be aiming for Jenny right now, because I don't think they can quite reach Ein from there. Actually, wait, I'm going to let... Actually, wait. Shane is... Yeah, let's actually move Shane over... Yeah, let's stick with that. Get him out of the line so he doesn't get hit by the Cyclopses. Because they have enough attack power to actually hit him reasonably hard. Yeah, and this one will do like 2 or 3 damage tops. Yeah, no big deal there. Okay, let's see. He's at 80 or 18. It feels like a waste to have Jetta hit that one. You know what? Let me actually move Ein up and let him just delete this one. Ooh. Alright, nice level up for Ein there. Yep, 10 damage, no big deal for... Alright. And, Alright, I'll let Jenny finish that one off. Try to spread the XP around a little bit. Alright, what do we got? We got Jetta. Let's have Jetta. Kind of a waste to have him murder the stormtrooper, but you know what? It's got to get done, so it's all good. Oh. You know what? Yeah, Dan, maybe on the next turn. Oh. Can come down and, I don't know if he can get a... I don't know if he can do a full to zero double kill on these guys. They are pretty beefy, but we're gonna let him try. Let's see. 35... Yeah, 3 hull damage. And, yeah, let's get some health on Chris. Alright, we got 1 Stormtrooper up there, 1 Cyclops there. 37, okay. Not nearly enough damage for one-shot kills, but... Oh, apparently he just has a big damage range he can do. Okay. Kind of like, FF5 axes. Alrighty. How's Alright, Brian's starting to get low. Might need to pull him back just a smidge. Just so he doesn't get spiked by the mage. Hey, level up. Nice. The other Cyclops should move up and... Oh, nope. Other Cyclops is not going to get a chance. Good. 31, 30. If you can't believe it, then Habib it. You'd best start believing in ghost ships. You're on one. I'm actually curious how differently, if much at all, other than just, recruitable characters, like how much the game really changes going, full good guy route versus bad guy route. It's like one of the things that kind of destroyed any possible replay value on, say, like Baldur's Gate 3 for me was the realization that your alignment really has no impact on the plot. The ending is a little bit different depending on if you want to be good guy or bad guy. But it, all roads lead to Rome. Alright, hopefully... Alright, mission accomplished. Good. We were supposed to kill everybody. You earned 891 shells. Very good. 25 XP. Okay. Hey, Chris got a level up. Eris leveled up. Very good. His healer level ups are few and far between. And Dan leveled up. Very nice. So did Shishi. Alright, no emblem change, so either we just need more points to get to the next step, or we got a neutral end. It seems like, some battles are just kind of, forced good ending, bad ending. Like, you can't be all good or all bad. You'll always be, somewhere in the gray zone. Which makes sense. That's actually very realistic. In a game about, dudes, shooting lasers out of their swords and fighting centaurs and werewolves. The kind of the ethics of the game have been, pretty grounded. Attention, invaders from the Balformian Empire. We are the Arcadian Liberation Army. We are hereby ordered to You are hereby ordered to vacate this palace and withdraw from the Lake Kuel district. This mandate will be executed immediately with the penalty of death should you refuse. Wow, old man. You sound official as hell. Is this one of those propaganda battles? Shush, Ein, so I can hear their reply. Still feel like a glorified messenger boy? Ellipsis. Well, I don't exactly see a mass exodus underway. Alright. Enter the palace. We'll rendezvous at the staircase at the center of the main hall. So... Alright, we didn't get to save between fights. I mean, we could have, gone outside and, So, alright, let me actually just go ahead and drop a save state in case we need to, reload. Since we didn't save between battles, which, honestly, we should have. So, we gotta think, like, how we're going to prosecute this fight. So, because it looks like our goal is going to be simply to get to the stairs. Now, how many units we need to get to the stairs, we'll find out when we get there. Maybe it's a lot, maybe not so much. Let's see here. Also, let's think here. How? I think what we want to do. Oh man, we're gonna get do we go? All right, the wyverns are the least of our worries. The Pegasus Knights are more dangerous, albeit not by much, honestly. So I think, I mean, those, yeah, flying enemies have enough movement. Presumably they're going to bum rush us from both sides, whichever way we go. So I think if we head towards the Pegasus Knights, that's going to be the better option. Otherwise, we'll have the Pegasus Knights hitting us from behind, which is not going to be good for anybody's health. So we'll hit them face first. And then we should be pretty good. So, alright, I think that's the strategy. And then, actually, having Dan in the back, just to keep the wyverns off our ass, I think will have a lot of value. Let's see here. All right, we'll how do I want to proceed? He's just a little far out there. All right, we'll let Chris go out as let's see. Wait, how? All right, these guys are gonna hit us kind of hard and fast, actually. Here, well, actually, how far? All right, Brian can get to here. Actually, you know what? Let's actually just have Brian move out, because they'll probably rush even harder to try to get to Brian. Alright. Shane doesn't really block the path, so we'll move him up. There we go. And, okay. That lured them in, because Brian was like a space short of his kill zone. So, okay. Oh! And hey, Spaceballs 2 has officially started production. Nice. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, alright, you know what, we'll let Ein take the first hit. Yeah, 32, and we'll probably let Jenny finish it off. Alrighty. Alright. Is anybody else? Yeah, Jenny's the one actually that's a little bit lacking in XP, so we'll there we go, level 29. Alright, some HP and defense. Can't go wrong with that. The first step to winning is not losing. You know what? We haven't seen the wyverns attempt to move yet. I don't know, maybe if we can, Are they gonna... No, they're gonna try to come after us. Alright, Royce. So... let's see, alright, we got those two idiots. How much... there's a Cyclops up there. If I send Royce up here to delete this one, the other one will probably go try to smack Ein. Now that the path to him is open. Alright, good. Wow, did I call it or what? Yeah, we can see Ein's defense is not great. Ooh. Four whole damage. Oh noes. Actually, I'll... let's see here. Sure, anyone else? Oh yeah, Ein, yeah, go ahead and whack this one. The other one may or may not actually approach us, depending on how it feels. Sorry, how's, I think Shane's like 31 or 32, yeah. Yeah, he's 31. And our clerics have no way of actually doing damage to non-undead, so yeah, we'll just let Jenny get more XP. Bonk. Just move the squishy targets on up ahead. So the enemies don't get any weird ideas. Oh, are they gonna keep, you know what? If they're just gonna exodus their way out of here, then, yeah, we're just gonna let them go. They may actually be evacuating. Yeah, we're actually gonna have Dan come back here. If anything tries to actually escape, we're gonna let it go. Alright, the Cyclops up there. Alright, well, these things have decided they don't want to run away. We gave it a free path to the exit, and it chose not to utilize that. So its life is now forfeit. If the other one steps up, yeah, again, we'll let Dan try to go for the double kill, if at all possible. Actually, Shane, can you probably... Yeah, Shane can probably kill this thing off. Bonk. Oh, easily. And level up for Shane. Very good. Oh, and he once again got no stats. Two whole damage. Oh no. How will we ever recover? Alright, we'll let Dan finish it off. Those guys appear to still be in retreat. So, yeah, those guys we will allow to retreat. Yep, they are straight up clearing the way for us. So, you know, who am I to refuse them? Oh, that one's even going back the other way. Okay. Alright, Dan the Lizard Man with the plan. We'll demolish this thing. And we'll be very ethical and, you know, prevent any suffering by just quickly killing it in one hit. Oh, okay, they're starting to turn around. Okay, those guys are... Alright. Alright, this dumb cleric wants to bonk us. We'll just ignore him. Hopefully we only need to get one character to the stairs to win the map. I want that gun to take its turn before we move anybody else up. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, that stupid wyvern wants to throw its life away for whatever reason. I mean, if it's even alive, which I'm not so sure. Oh, that doesn't, Getting one unit to the stairs apparently does not cut it. Seven damage. Yeah, no big deal. Actually, I can get as far as there. Only use. Alright, yeah. Do I just kill this cleric? No, we'll let the cleric live. I'm actually curious if enemy casualties are simply a binary value of did you kill all of them versus, like, did you kill, versus actual kill count. Yeah, we're gonna have to delete this wyvern, though. Oh, poop. But, okay, you know what? He's, makes the cleric actually go back and do some healing. Alright. You know what? It made the cleric get out of our way, so we actually call that a win. And yeah, of course it goes for Ein. 7 damage on Ein. No big deal, because we're presumably almost done with the map. Alright, the guns are actually coming back, which is unfortunate. Though if we have to smash the guns, then so be it. Also, man, I gotta piss. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. And all right. Let's see here. Who else? I think it's just Jenny that needs to go. Okay. All right. Let's get our healers out of the line of fire as quickly as possible. I mean, and the guns, to the extent that they can reach us, should probably be aiming for Brian anyway, especially since his health is below max. So how far can Brian get? To there. Okay. Uh, dumb cleric. Ow. Beating up my big titty elf cleric. That's very unethical of them. I may have to... No, you know what? Yeah, if we move Eris, if we move Arya out of the cleric's attack range, it won't chase her. Oh, this might be actually slightly bad. Oh, no, Dan's got enough hit points. Yep. He can just tank this and not care. Wait, I want the... No, I want the cleric to go, so I can essentially block off his movement. If at all possible. Dan sustained 7 damage. Okay, now we probably need to let Dan take a turn. Alright, you know what? We'll... Yeah, I'll just... Dan use a ration. Okay. Yeah. Bonk. Whatever. Yeah. No big deal. Does getting to the staircase actually end the battle? I mean, it might just be that we need to get Dan up a couple more spaces. Because, yeah, some battles you do have to actually get your whole force to the destination. Um, actually, oh, there we go. That was the finish line right there. Mission accomplished. 783 bucks. 50 XP, very nice. Which is the most we've seen from mission bonuses. And it does seem to either just be a fixed value on maps where you have to kill everybody, or based on the number of enemies you left alive. Nice. And level up for Dora. And level up for Stinger. And for Connolly. And no upgrade yet. Okay, well. Yeah, we'll just drop another save state rather than walking the whole way out to save properly. We'll just drop a save state and get on with it. Yeah, we probably could have farmed up a little bit more healer XP there. I just didn't feel like it. Just wanted to try to end the battle. I've been waiting for you, young warriors, since we first met at the Skull Desert Temple. Yes, I remember. You said, "Come to me." Did you know we were headed this way? Not for sure, because nothing is ever certain on Mildra Scars. But I felt a strong premonition. My name is... I am Omat Axiasis, the uncle of General Cobalt, the Empire's strongman in Scudelia. What? That's right. Now that you know my biggest secret, I need you to listen for a minute. Your name's Brian, correct? Alright, considering who I am, I have a most unusual request. I want you to stop my nephew Cobalt before his dark, twisted ambitions destroy Mildra Scars. So if you are a Golnareem, what does all this mean? I don't understand anything. It includes your apparition-like appearance in the Skull Temple, the Executor Sword, also the source and ascendancy of your Golnareem race, the Empire. I could go on and on. Other than Balformia's ambitions to conquer Mildra Scars, why has Scudelia become the battlefield? Balformia is just a convenient tool, a starting point. Have you heard of the Four Sages? No. Well, I haven't. Please engrave these anti-Golnareem slogans into your staff of Fireball Plus to use them. Of course, it's the ultimate doomsday weapon, unleashed during the Millennium War. But no one is sure if it really happened or if it's propaganda the Golnareem used to terrorize. Propaganda? If that was the case, how do you explain the sudden rise of the Golnareem? No one can answer that for sure because the war raged so long, many accounts were lost. But people accept that the Phantom Zone, thousands of barren islands in the ocean, actually exist. This area of near total devastation lies just east of Balformia, the Faustian continent and motherland of the Empire. Yes, and the records mention the capital of a human-centered superpower in that region, a large continent that once led Mildra Scars in all fields of multi-species endeavors. But now, as we know, no life exists in the Phantom Zone, not even a single blade of grass. Yeah, and this person, having us engrave anti-Golnarim slogans into their staff of fireballs. They are definitely not associated with any federal law enforcement or intelligence agencies. So the fact that the wizard who used that staff, was on that law enforcement agency's radar, is totally a coincidence. Hmm. Wait a minute. Hmm. Yeah. Feda. Fed Agency. Emblem of Justice. My god. It all makes sense now. It was right in front of us the whole time. How could we have been so blind? I need to stop noticing. Yeah, shut it down. Shut it all down. That's because someone employed the Four Sages, also known as the End of Times weapon. Or maybe the aggressor used one of its four components, the outcome being obvious: the obliteration of an entire continent due to the explosive energy of the Executor Sword. At some point, the Golnarim species somehow spawned or originated in that region. Evidence suggests that the predecessors of my Golnarim species were the culprits, the ones who employed the Four Sages and fragmented the entire continent. The suits are on their way to my location. Hold on, what? Hey. Shit. I think I can hear the black helicopter circling over my roof. Well, if I don't stream tomorrow, it's been an honor, gentlemen. But we really don't know when our mutation occurred, resulting in our present form. Could have been either before or after someone wielded the ultimate doomsday weapon. Tell us more about this ultimate weapon legend. The literal translation reads, "The chosen convicts fabricated four all-powerful artifacts for the purpose of remaking Mildra scars and..." Stop right there, Mr. Pope. None of this is making any sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to you, Ein. We don't pay you to think. We know that int is your dump stat, Ein. It's okay. That's why you're a fighter instead of a real job class. Which part, my energetic young warrior? All of it. Who chose this bunch? And why convicts? Were they criminals or just Golnarims? No, they were Australians. It's metaphorical, but I'll offer my interpretation. The Who is likely a supernatural evil being. As for convicts, anyone can be a prisoner, perhaps in a cell or even inside his own narrow mind. More bullshit, your popeness. Is it really? You beat me to the Australian joke. Great minds think alike, apparently. Think. Some are calling your friend Brian a hero. Do you agree? Hell yeah! Doesn't he prove it on the battlefield time and time again? Well, did you not break him out of a prison cell as a convicted criminal sentenced to death? Yeah. Gulp. And even though your exploits have been heroic, haven't some of you been reluctant heroes? What can I say? We didn't come to Scudelia seeking fame. It just sort of happened. That's beside the point. But do you really believe it was just random? Consider this first. Hero or convict. It's a matter of point of view and who turns the rudder of history. But over time, the litmus test boils down to justice versus tyranny, and good versus evil. Man, this shit's so heavy, my head hurts. Mine too. Sometimes. But I'm carrying most of that heavy load inside of my heart. So, that bit about remaking the world. One man's remake may be another man's devastation. Yeah, kind of like how some people might view a movie as a soft reboot of a beloved classic, whereas others might see it as a total desecration of a beloved part of their childhood. For example, every movie J.J. Abrams ever made. Or, anything written by Joss Whedon since the 90s. Yeah, some people might see them as a soft reboot. I would tend to see them as disgusting desecrations of a former classic, and proof that Hollywood is beyond redemption and should probably just be burned to the ground before they do any more damage. Yeah, or peaceful protesters. Some people might call them arsonists. Some people might refer to it as a fiery but mostly peaceful protest. Exactly. That's right. Except God may be the one who ultimately can pass judgment on Mildred Scars. Yeah, these aren't riots, not at all. They're just peacefully protesting with Molotov cocktails and bricks. It's just a matter of perspective. History really is written by the victors, after all. How an ancient text might say that the soldiers of the army bravely massacred all the women and children to make sure they wouldn't grow up to follow in their father's villainous footsteps. It's just spin doctoring. Damn, words don't always mean what they say, do they? Amen, son. So, I believe I have it too. The Executor's Sword is just one of the 4 sages. And your nephew Cobalt has been corrupted by an ancient supernatural being who is not God, following in the footsteps of his convict forebears, whose labors he plans to harness, by turning Scudelia into a new Phantom Zone. I can't confirm that is Cobalt's precise objective, I just know he has slumped to the dark side. Something ominous is brewing. But if you stop Cobalt, all of your bases will belong to us. I mean, be covered. What about the missing 3 components of the 4 sages? You haven't identified those. Now, where have we heard this plot before? Unknown at this time. But since we're dealing with sets of 4... Yes, the 4 Commodores must figure into Cobalt's plot in some manner. Exactly. You must vanquish the 4 Commodores before you can even reach my nephew. If his henchmen are involved in a larger scheme, one dedicated to obtaining additional artifacts, eliminating the 4 Commodores may negate the threat of an unprecedented world cataclysm. Is the world cataclysm really unprecedented? I mean, if a whole continent has been rendered devoid of life, I think global cataclysms are, in fact, highly precedented at this point. Cobalt must know where your heart lies. Will you accept the protection of our new nation? No, I will be safe here. To put it in military parlance, This is my duty station. A seal protects this temple from evil. I just cleared out a bunch of monsters from this temple. I don't think your seal works very well. It will be standing long after Cobalt and we are gone. Pope Omot, do not worry about me, son. As long as I remain here, Cobalt cannot touch me. Well then, like, can't we just replicate this seal in other places? Or something? Like, I don't know, in civilian populated areas to make sure they don't get blown up by, you know, apocalyptic superweapons? Yeah, the Desert Temple was not sealed very well. You know, he was able to just waltz right in, grab the super weapon, and leave. You've shared many details that an average soldier would not need to know. Why? Because you are not average soldiers. But, oh no, don't put this bee on us again about being God's chosen warriors of destiny. Fine. Instead of telling you that, I'll ask you to think about something. Like what? As you travel around Scudelia and witness how the people are languishing under the Empire, ask yourselves this question every single day. Was it destiny or chance that led to your encounters with Andera Balzark and me? And what else? There is nothing else. The choices you make belong to you, as well as the results. If you believe it was chance, then don't stay involved in the conflict. Allow the world to run on the path already laid before it. And if you decide it was destiny, are you man enough to change the course of history? Nothing has been written, so don't expect me to share a divination of a happy ending. Whatever happens will be the consequences of the choices you people make every day. Yo, what do you mean, you people? Damn it, your holiness. I would feel more comfortable if you tried to tell us what to do. That's not my place, my son. It's a matter between you, your conscience, and God. Good luck. But wait, didn't we just say that, like, God isn't actually God or something? Like, are we dealing with the demiurge or something? Once we've freed Pope Omot from the military occupation of the evil Balformian Empire, or more precisely, Cobalt's attempted manipulation of his influential uncle, our Lake Kuel operation ended on a better note than the provisional government expected. The Pope not only supported our movement, he asked us to defeat his nephew, the villain Cobalt. But our feeling of victory was offset by the grim reminder of the Executor's potential power. I wonder, is there some sort of reference in here about how the U.S. government wanted to, especially the Joint Chiefs, wanted to turn Southeast Asia into, and I quote, a sea of glowing blue cobalt? And then Truman said no. And that's why we didn't just rain nuclear fire on Southeast Asia as a tool to contain communism and as a show of force against the Russians and the Chinese. Not to mention the specter of a quaternary doom should Cobalt garner all four sages. As we marched into wilderness, the magnitude of consequences weighed heavily on us all. Whenever I contemplated the obsession of my old friend Tusk, even though he might be dead, a sense of anxiety descended upon me, forcing me to concentrate harder on my duty. He said duty. My responsibility to lead the guerrilla unit safely through unfamiliar terrain. Still, the crushing reality that Cobalt might destroy everything I hold dear on Mildred Scars caused me sleepless nights, but I pressed onward, attempting to conceal my restiveness. knowing I would not relax until we solved that horrible mystery of the four sages, and hopefully sealed their destructive power forever. I kept these musings private, unable to share them, even with my best friend Ein. Area 7, Dark Victory. The Liberation Army wasted no time pressuring even the best plans of the four Commodores. Arcadia continued its southern expansion at a much faster rate than anyone was expecting. Headquarters made the decision to invade Belclad, the largest city in the southern region. Driving the Empire out of the south would not only bring Arcadia a huge military victory, it would deny Balformia a major source of wealth in the form of raw products. For the region was rich in resources, especially metal ores destined for mainland mills. Unwitting of Arcadia's increasing might, Cobalt and his forces were ill-prepared for the onslaught. These were heady days in Arcadia as the masses formed a coalition of unified ambition. And that was to dismantle the Golnarim and Dragonute ruling system forever. Once more, we found ourselves engulfed in a groundswell of popular change. Knowing we would still be required to win the actual battles, we wended our way toward Belclad. We're sneaking toward the enemy like bandits. This sort of fighting is cowardly. Quit your bitching, Ein. This is what guerrilla units do. Can't you adapt to new tactics? Looks like I have no choice. This method is too subtle for an in-your-face style of fighter such as Ein. Well, alright, enough chatter. Get ready. We shouldn't spend too much time here. Try to kill the two mages in charge. Oh man, we're all kinds of spread out. Oh, I don't like this at all. Alright, let's, we didn't get a chance to save, so let's just drop a save state. Alright, our units are all over the field. And, Aria is, in a very dangerous position right there. There are two Althea mages right there. How? Alright, our first thing I want to do is try to move Arya out of the line of fire and hope that they don't chase her. Okay, those guys are moving north up towards there. We can deal with that. Move Jeddah into attacking position. If we're a little bit clever, we might be able to let the, okay, they're going up that way. Alright. Alright, the enemies are all headed up that way. This is good. don't want I don't want to take my turn on Shane until these guys move. I don't want to attract their attention. I just want to be able to move in and snipe these mages with a little, surgical strike. Sadly, I don't think Dan's going to get to do anything this battle. He's just in the wrong part of the map. Dun, 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 dun. We have anybody else that can take a turn? No. I want Shane in attack position to hit the mage, but I don't want to attract the Cyclops, so we'll play it safe. Yeah, okay, good. That's what we wanted to see. Those guys are going to be... Okay, they're taking their sweet time. Good. Alright, we pulled him off the group. Hopefully this doesn't hurt too much. Six damage. Who cares? Though those mages do have some hit points. Alright, 8 damage, no big deal. Alright, he's at less than full health, so this knight will absolutely aim for him if we let him. Which means our healer is not in danger. I think we can probably just safely set up a little defensive line here. Minimize enemy casualties. Okay. Let's see. Jeddah probably falls just a little bit short. That's okay. And sadly does not have any specials, but he should be able to take this mage out in 2 hits. Oh, based. Oh, incredibly based. He did it in 1 hit. Perfect crit. Good job. Good job, Shane. That just totally changed the flow of this battle. Yeah, the mage moves in, casts 1 spell, and we spike him and we end the battle. Nice. We're gonna get, like, maximum ethics points for this one. Alright, he's gonna do some damage, but it won't kill her. It'll do, like, 20 or so odd damage. Oh, fuck. Did 34? You know what? All right, let's play it out. Because everything else worked so well. You know what? It's a good test for how the system works, honestly. If we have to reload, if our emblem goes up, then we'll let it play out. If we only get a neutral or downgrade, then we'll reset it. Oh, only 25 XP for that? Really? Alright, we did not get an... Alright, let's, Alright. We didn't get an upgrade, so yeah, maybe having somebody die, yeah, did actually kind of nuke our ethics meter there. So, let's try again. If nothing else, it's an opportunity to kind of learn how the game's ethics math works. Yeah, Arya just can't really participate in this fight at all. Oh, really? This time it decided. Oh. Shouldn't do that much damage. I mean, 4 damage doesn't matter. Yeah, one Cyclops hitting Shane is not a big deal. Especially when Shane can just move up and actually hit this one this turn. Oh, he got the crit. Nice. Is he just destined to land that crit? We'll see how the rest of the enemies keep moving. Oh, okay. That changes the flow of the battle quite a bit. Ow. Oh, that hurt. That hurt real bad. We overplayed our hand. Okay. Hold on. Alright. We got a little too aggressive there. Right, alright, so Shane might just be due for that crit. That might just be predestined. Yeah, I need everybody else to move. So we aggro as few enemies as physically possible. And then, yeah, it is. Alright, stopping about 1. Yeah, we probably could have gone up 1 more. No, wait, no, we couldn't, because then we would have been in attack range. Alright, we'll just let these guys do their thing. No, that's fine. He can handle getting hit for 4 damage. It's no big deal. Alright, let's send Shane out to snipe this idiot. Okay. Crit was not predestined. We just got lucky twice in a row. Okay. And of course the healers are right there to undo it. It's okay. He hits for 37, so as long as they're below 37, it's fine. Alright, that'll do some damage, but not a big deal, unless the enemies turn around and dogpile him, which they might do. Which they are doing, actually. Okay. That might actually kill Shane right there. Nope, okay, but the Cyclops hit that comes next probably will kill him. Let's... Nice. Alright. Good dodge. And yeah, I wasn't sure what the Cyclops was going to do, so I tried to give him an extra target to wail on. Yes, there we go. That's what we wanted to see. Okay. Althea Mage. Bonk. Okay, level up for Brian. And yeah, Brian's got some damage on him, so the other enemies will hopefully try to focus fire him. Good. The other healer did not try to heal our, try to heal the mage. Good. Based. Alright, the Althea mage is right there. And Shane can hit it for 37. This should kill. For the win. Based. There we go. Alright, that was as clean and ethical as that fight's gonna be. 700 bucks, 25 XP, okay. Shane leveled up, yep. Got some stats. Jetta leveled up. Dan leveled up. No emblem upgrade. So, alright. I don't know, I don't know if somebody dying actually affects that or not. We got the same outcome either way. So, who knows? Again, I really wish we could actually see the points. Yeah, I really wish there was just like a score screen or something. He told me every day that he loved me deeply and would never go away. Then he simply vanished without a trace. I was raised as a merchant's daughter. Despite the war, my family and I lived peaceful lives in the village where I grew up. I never expected to fall in love with a man from Scudelia, or even leave home, but here I am. The Valformian army seems to have unlimited forces. I hope I'm a help and not a burden. Well, I wish you had a few more points of defense there, Jenny, but otherwise, you know, you've been rocking it. Who's stronger, Brian or Ein? Brian, and it's not even close. Been working pretty hard since you joined us, old man. Alright, what do we got on the map here? Some mages. Bell-clad city. And then kid just go and steal some super weapons. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Also, by the way, for what it's worth, the most recent update to Ellen added centaurs as a playable race. So, like, I don't know if I want to go, like, start a new file on Ellen. Especially since centaurs are, like an archery-focused race. Like, I don't know if they're necessarily very good, especially compared to how good Succubus is. But, you know, it is a thing. So, you know, if we wanted to LARP as May or something, either of the Mays from Shining Force, you know, we absolutely could do that. We could totally, like, grab the gun lance or something and do that. That would be kind of amusing. Actually, yeah, it's like the gun lance is pretty amusing. Yeah, and the gun lance does the fact that you can just buy it for 27 small metals means we can actually get it like right out of the gate. We just gotta go, you know, find small metals and make it to Garrock's shop. 5d8 plus 7 versus the like the Holy Lance is 7d5 plus 11. So a d5 rolls an average of 3. So 21. That's 32 damage. Yeah, versus a d8 rolls an average of 4.5. So 22, 29. So yeah, it's not quite as good in melee terms as the Holy Lance, but it is pretty interesting. And the Holy Lance also has a lot of other stats on it as well. Look, Tolman, the road forks in 3 different directions. Which way should we go? Your choice. The enemy's telegraph office is north, supply depot lies west, and armory is south. We shouldn't attack the enemy's Belclad headquarters until we destroy all 3 support bases. So you decide, Brian. Which enemy installation do you wish to knock out first? Why don't we just capture Belclad first, then go back and hit these remote bases? And leave these facilities intact so the enemy can fall back, rearm, and call for help? Maybe my idea is a bit cockeyed after all. Don't fret. We'll make it to Belclad. Just need to take care of some business first. Okay, so we actually have our choice of which of these battles we're going to do next. And man, I gotta piss again. I mean, I did drink like half a gallon of coffee. So, you know, no surprise. I'll be right back. So, let's see. We've got 3 options. Well, I guess we ultimately have to do all 3, so it doesn't really matter what we do. But I think from a just looking at the movement here, like the north one is kind of the odd man out. Plus, that is the comms base. So I figure we go north, then we backtrack to the fork. We go south, take out the armory, and we go west, and that leads us to the gate. And that seems like it makes sense. Let me just resave again real quick. And getting our ethics meter maxed out in like chapter 2 or 3, whenever it was so easy. Now we're just kind of crawling our way up the ethics meter. Or hopefully we're making progress. So, okay. Go north first. Hit these guys. Destroying the telegraph office may throw the enemy into a state of confusion. Look, security forces here seem well prepared to repel an invasion. Nevertheless, we must reach the telegraph office before their commander calls for reinforcements. Destroy all enemy troops blocking our path so we can breach the main facility. Alright, I guess this is just a kill everything mission. We got some rain stats, or rain sats, excuse me, which, these things hit hard, and they have a lot of HP. Like, they actually hit harder than the Pegasi. And then up here we have some Bogan Hills. Alright, the next level of enemy archer. And 4 of these Ken troopers all stacked on top of each other. Alright, how do we... Left and right both seem like they're kind of the same deal, so... We'll go this direction, since it's the side Dan is closest to. So he has the least amount of ground to try to cover. You know, this game has a lot of battles, but, you know, it's actually nice that not every battle is some, you know, life or death, mega struggle. Some of them are just quick and dirty, like that last battle. Not every single battle has to be an epic Clash of the Titans. You know, sometimes it can just be a routine skirmish. Alright, enemies... Let's see here. You know what? We'll send Dan out in front. And they go right past him to get to Shane. Now, he is the squishier of the possible targets, so that makes sense. Now, why didn't Stinger use his heavy ordnance? That's a good question. Maybe, I don't know, it's, maybe it's too expensive, and, the Army, can't afford to, be dropping million-dollar bombs on every little thing. Unlike the U.S. military. And it's like, the bomb only cost $1 million? Boy, howdy, that's a cheap bomb. Which, speaking of which, interesting development in military technology over the last couple of weeks. The rest of the... Russia and Ukraine have now finally figured out how to make JDAMs. Something that we figured out back in Gulf 1, that that we were deploying in Desert Storm. The rest of the world is now finally going to be catching up to what we did 30 years ago. So when you hear when you hear about the Russians and the Ukrainians deploying glide bombs, yeah, that's just an off-brand term for JDAMs. And for the non-military historians in the crowd, a JDAMS system, which stands for Joint Attack Something System. It's basically a system where you attach some fins and a guidance system. An early 90s grade guidance system. To an old dumb bomb, so that you can turn it into a precision weapon instead of just a dumb bomb. And that's way more cost effective than making an entirely new missile from scratch. And also shows you, by the way, just how far ahead of the curve the American military is compared to the rest of the world. America was doing in 1992 what the rest of the world just now figured out in 2025. Yeah, so remember, any talking head that ever tries to sell you on the idea that such and such army could even hold a candle to the U.S. military, much less actually defeat it in direct conflict. Yeah, they are just making shit up. Bonk. Yeah, the U.S. military is so far ahead of the rest of the world. It's, it's like somebody, playing on God mode. Or I should say, yeah, it's like a tournament level Smash player playing Smash against a 10-year-old. By the way, and the tournament player is also using cheat codes. They don't need the cheat codes, but they're using them anyway. Because it's not about winning, it's about sending a message. And we're gonna get Jeddah topped up here because he's about to get smacked by at least one more Quadra Slice. But that's okay, because he's gonna lure the enemy troops into range so we can delete them. Whoa! Holy moly! He got damage rolled there. Oh, those guys have a 3-unit range. Okay. And they have a goodly amount of attack power. Okay. Jeddah is getting a little bit wrecked here. Alright, hold on. Eris can move to here. Alright. Alright, yeah, that's what we can do. Yeah, we will move Shane very strategically to right there. And then, yeah, that allows us to target a Remake 2 right there, so we can hit Jeddah with it. Very nice. And we got Dan back to full also. Very nice. Level up for Eris. Oh, cheap viewers. How about not? Alrighty. How are we going to proceed from here? Alright, Brian is already injured. Brian will 100% get dogpiled. because he's already below full health. So we're gonna need to delete as many of these jabronis as possible before they get to take another turn. Alright, this seems like a good chance, maybe, to have Dan use an AoE. Maybe go for the double kill. And also maybe just soak up some damage. Off by 2? Damn. Alright, well, both of those two are within easy kill range from anybody now, so that's fine. Okay, and actually force them to go for a heal for the next action. Okay. I like that the enemy does actually contemplate its turn order, instead of just going in, you know, this, like, agility order every turn. Alright, I think Jeddah can do 38 here. Nope, he can just get blocked. Rip. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna cost me. But a bad luck there. Because now that exact same trooper's gonna hit Dan. Okay, he's out of quadra slices though, so he's really not that big a problem anymore. He is infinitely less dangerous than he was a moment ago. That Ken Trooper is still alive at full health, though. Alright, Shane. Actually, Shane, because you're a little bit fragile, let's have you move down here. Kill off the Pegasus. Oh, that's starting to hurt. It's gonna force us to heal. Maybe. 29 HP left. We should probably heal. Can we do it without getting massacred, though, is the thing. More guy right there. And these guys are still in the back. You know what? I actually have a better idea. We will execute this idiot. And with Brian up in the front, the last knight will maybe go for Brian? This will also make it way easier to heal. And way safer to heal. Alright, we'll see which one takes the next action. Alright, we get the next turn, actually. Alright, well now we can actually just move here. And now, yeah, we can just heal them both. Alright, they want to keep piling onto Dan, that's fine. Yeah, 12 damage, whatever. Nice crit. There we go. All right. Level up for Chris. Solid. All right, these guys still have it out for Dan. Ow. Crit for 15. Good God. Those guys are not screwing around. Yeah, just demolished. There we go, okay. Crit again, ow, for another 15 damage. Assholes. Okay, we've got one guy with MP still. Dan survives a hit. A hit, but not necessarily 2 hits. And he's not gonna kill any of them in 1 hit. Do I retreat him and let Brian? Yeah, I think that's just the safest thing. Is, they'll... Yeah, we'll just retreat him, let Brian take a hit or 2. Oh, he actually... Oh, wow. Fuck. This might kill. Wow. I totally... Okay, whoa, she survived. Oh, man. Okay, that's real bad. I did not expect that to happen. I totally miscalculated there. Which means they... Christ. Which means they will probably aim for Eris on the next hit if I let them. These guys have a 3 space range. So 1... If I move Chris to here... Alright, then that gets them stuck. They can't go any further. Yeah, fortunately, they have no defense. They have a lot of hit points, but they have no defense. So they're not a huge threat long term. Yeah, and we can just kill one of them off right now. Glory to our Stutska. Whoa. Okay. Alright. This battle got a little spicy there for a moment, but, you know, we got through it. Die, monster. Whoa. Mission accomplished. Lots of money. And 35 XP across the board. Level up for Arya, very nice. Connolly leveled up. Yay. Alright, well, we got a neutral result there. That's fine. Or, you know, presumably neutral. Yeah, neutral enough, I guess. I guess we're gonna head straight, yeah. We're gonna, we'll just go ahead and save state before we go into the next battle. Just because it's quicker than popping out to the map and coming back. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's torch this place and be on our way. Shouldn't we search for items and information of intelligence value first? Who knows? If we can defend this facility, or at least spirit away some of the equipment, maybe we can use these devices for our own communications, or better yet, to monitor the enemy. Phew. Fine with me if we lay around for a while. All these battles are wearing me out. That'll be the day. Yeah, whatever. Hey, who's over there? Hey, look everyone. Some Empire slug's been hiding back here all this time. Damn coward, come here you. Are you people the Liberation Army? No, we came in here to sell you Golnareem scout cookies. I'm telling you to be a dirty looter? We're not looting those items, we're liberating them. There's an important difference. Those cheap bastards lying on the ground outside turned us down, so we wasted them. Of course we're the Liberation Army, you fool. Make another false move and you're toast. Whoa, Commander, take it easy. I'm not associated with the Balformian army. Have any of you heard of a man named Rosetsu? Who hasn't? Rosetsu is one of the so-called 4 commodores with the occupation government. He wants to nail our hides to a tree, but whatever he's doing right now is anybody's guess. What? Who the hell are you? That was the transformation maneuver, wasn't it? Excuse me, but I oppose the Empire too. My name is Tobikage. Won't you settle down and hear me out? I realize I took a big chance revealing myself to you, but I'm after Rosetsu. Oh, really? What's your beef against Commodore Rosetsu, other than, you know, the war crimes and the genocide and the whatnot? He killed my master. I see. Okay, it's revenge. That's a good reason. Well, since he's influential, I would imagine Rosetsu was either at his castle or in Luxadol. Since Rosetsu is after you, and I'm after him, would you mind if I accompany you? Something tells me, if I go with you, I'll have a much better chance of finding Rosetsu. So, is it okay if I come along? If you join us in combat, you may get killed before you have an opportunity for revenge. Are you willing to take that chance? I've been taking risks my entire adult life. I will help you even after I kill Rosetsu. With a fighting spirit such as yours, you sound like a perfect fit, so welcome aboard. Alright, now one thing I do want to do real quick here. We're gonna do a quick save state here, just because we're probably gonna be reloading momentarily. I just want to test something here. Just do a quick save state. I want to go back in here. And... Okay, no, alright. Staying there does nothing. Okay. I guess, yeah, because enter... Okay. Yeah, we'll just load that just so we don't waste a day on the calendar. I wanted to see if maybe we could go back in there and see if there was anything, see if we could actually do some looting, but apparently not. What time is it? It is 10:22. Alright, let's actually, yeah, go ahead and resave. Let's call it a night there. This seems like as good a stopping point as any. And we'll do the back half of this chapter tomorrow, I guess. So we've got 3 or maybe 4 battles, or actually maybe quite a bit on this chapter, because there's a this forest down here, at least 2 locales within the city, plus these 2 more intermediate bases. This might actually be a fairly lengthy chapter. I guess we'll find out as we go. But yeah, let's leave it there for now, and we'll do the arms base and the other base tomorrow, and head into the city and see what the rest of this chapter has to offer. So yeah, that'll be for tomorrow though. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Tim. We'll have the VOD up directly, or if you're watching the VOD, you know, the Twitch link is down in the description there, so, you know, by all means, come say hi at some point. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.